Good evening, my friends. Welcome to our Destiny world. DRBMiller here. How's everybody doing? Today we are having a short evening stream, and I apologize for the change in schedule. But I've had a very busy week with lots of other things which are connected to my channel, and therefore had to be rescheduling on short notice, which is what I do not really like. But we are going to have a couple of hours of fierce action here tonight, just to make sure that we are getting obviously our Destiny stream almost every day. And also I'd like to ask my community members and viewers to access our poll and answer the question, because if you click on Streamlabs tab, which is in the top right corner on your chat, Twitch chat that is, and you click on current poll, you get the question: Destiny 1 or Destiny 2 to be the main game on the DRBMiller channel? The reason the poll is there is quite simple. We are coming to 4,400 on all three characters, which I believe is going to be completed within the next week or so, if obviously I manage to deliver my regular stream as usual. And then we are going to take a decision on what to do, because obviously our Destiny 1 streams may well be a bit more focused on learning, and we'll be perhaps providing some tutorials together with some of our Destiny veterans and our good friends, amongst the community members. Or we are going to be doing something which is seen as your preferred activity, be it the strikes or anything else. So I'd like to hear from the community members, either through the poll or indeed by sending me emails or tweets and indicating whatever your preference is. I will be diversifying later in the year, so we'll go to cross-platform instead of just doing everything on PS4. As you know, I'm a cross-platform gamer. I play games on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Android, tablets, on everything really. And we are going to be diversifying a bit in order to broaden out the number of contacts, in order to bring in some of our community members who are just watching us on Twitch and actually cannot play because they are, as you know, either doing something else on PC or Xbox. So there are some plans obviously in stock, and indeed we have also quite a selection of games which I would like to be presenting you with, the vast majority of which are on PlayStation Now services. In fact, I did try a game that's been offered this week through PS Now, and I'm delighted to say that Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor, for everyone who's familiar with this RPG, is now or indeed play it. You can be doing your instant stream through the PS server, or you can download it to your console and then play and stream at the same time, which is always preferable. And I obviously tried it. I never played it before, although it's been a game literally on top of my list in order for me to try it for quite some time, and I really love some of the trailers and some of the gameplay I've seen. In fact, after doing it for a little while, I have to say I was a bit surprised, because I expected your typical RPG very similar to Oblivion, or the other game I'm currently also doing called Two Towers 2. But actually the game is not like that. The game is very similar to fighting games, because you need to master your strikes and the way you use your weapons. I guess first and foremost, as you're encountering all sorts of enemies in the open world, and the open world is quite big. It's beautifully designed, and it's quite dangerous and deadly. So quite different really to what I expected it to be. And I have to see how the game is to unravel, because quite frankly I'm not that keen on fighting games and racing games. That's really not my niche. And we'll have to see whether the game will progress indeed with some stronger RPG element, interesting narrative, other characters being introduced. But I quite like the in-game mechanics, because as you're progressing, you're getting a lot of information on different characters, and there are many different things which you can do. So definitely very interesting, quite intriguing, and I guess for myself a very good experience, because I'm getting something which is completely different to what I expected. And I guess my image of the game after reading some of the reviews and watching the trailers was somewhat different to what was delivered. So that's always good, you have a bit of a surprise, a bit of excitement, and definitely a game that will draw my attention. I can therefore ask everyone, if you are considering whether to join PS Now services and to stream and to watch some games, I most highly recommend it. In fact, I recommend everyone to subscribe to PS Now and Xbox Game Pass, because when you do that, first of all, you'll have access to about 1,000 games straight away, instantly. any of those on offer can be streamed and played instantly on a fixed monthly price, which actually doesn't amount to all that much. PS4 is a lot more expensive than Xbox Game Pass, and you will have to then invest roughly £20 a month in order to be able to access the service. But everything is actually saved on servers, which means you have the capacity for lots of games, first of all, to be downloaded, so you can play them off your console, perfect quality graphics and everything else. And or you can just stream them directly through the PS server, which sometimes is actually preferable. And you will know why, because these massive games like Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, or Destiny, Fallout 76, any other, they occupy a lot of space, and unfortunately PlayStation 4 does not have a processor which will download the whole game in seconds. You sometimes have to be literally downloading a game all night long, and that is a major chore, I have to say, for, you know, the excitement that you'll be getting after reading a review, watching a trailer, and you really want to try the game straight away. So really a very good way of doing it is you try it by instantly streaming, and you basically get a flavour of the game, and after that, if you like it, leave it overnight, download it, and play it. Because guess what? Once you tried it, it will be all saved on the server, so when you're accessing the game again after downloading it to your console, you'll have the option to start a new game or to continue where you left it off. Very good. I love that idea, and I remember the old days with PCs, we had problems with saves and everything, all gone, and definitely highly preferable. And also what I quite like is, you know, I'm a veteran of cinema history. I watched films for many years, since the age of 4, and I remember the way things were years back, and there was a great difficulty in accessing certain prints and certain titles, so we'd be generally waiting for those copies, waiting for those prints to be arriving to our local film museum, or indeed one of the repertory cinemas, and then we'd watch that same film, maybe as many performances as possible if we were to start the film, and then the prints would disappear and we would not see them again for many years. So it meant that every single reviewer or writer or film buff had to rely on the memory alone. Access to knowledge in terms of trivia and facts was indeed present in libraries, and those libraries, like for instance the library we've got here in London at the BFI, is based in London. So if you were to read those books, you had to go to the library from anywhere in the country, around the world in fact, and then read them there. And that indeed was very restrictive. So, you know, we all relied on our memory. Our memory had to be always polished up and sharpened up in order to retain all the facts and figures. We kept notes. Sometimes many notebooks filled up with all kinds of details and, you know, factual elements related to any of the films we watched. And even when you read the articles that were produced by many writers, let's say from 1920s to the late 90s of the last century, you will see that the memory that some of the writers had was absolutely incredible, and they really paid attention to every single detail, and they relied on the memory alone, as well as obviously the notes. You would have had some writers and reviewers who were taking notes whilst they're watching a film, and others who were just writing memory and then taking notes once they got back home, or, you know, jotted it on a piece of paper as they were travelling back on the bus. And what happened in the meantime, certainly during the last decade, is that we gained the instant access, both in films and also in video game industry, as well as television. So we can access all the films and television shows, as well as the games, instantly, without any sort of delay, and that is of a tremendous benefit. I have to say, I talked the other day, as you know, my community members would have probably heard on my other broadcasts, I've been attending our regular International Silent Film Festival, which takes place every year once at the Cinema Museum in London, and it's run by a private club of film buffs who are dedicated to the silent cinema called Kennington Bioscope. And I always meet lots of people who are both my colleagues and friends, and, you know, we debate at length many different issues, silent cinema related, and, you know, particularly with the guys of the older generation, they're quite sort of resistant towards the digital overall, be it accessing it through digital media or watching films on the laptop or tablets and anything else. And I actually talked to somebody who is one of the programmers, and he said that generally, even if he sees that there are films that are extremely rare, available on YouTube, he's still avoiding the process of watching them because he finds it to be either poor prints or he finds all kinds of reasons. But in terms of the actual research, and if you want to try and see whether a film is to your satisfaction, indeed in this instance, as I'm describing video gaming online, we are having the opportunity to try almost 1,000 games really if you combine Xbox Game Pass together with PS Now services, and therefore we can take a decision to purchase the same game or a selection of games that we really like after trying them. So therefore it's much more accessible. It's worthy of our investment because it gives us this opportunity. In the past we will buy a game, play it, and think, oh, it didn't really pan out too well, we don't really like the game, we'll move on, we'll do something else, and therefore our investment was in vain. So I think as such, both Microsoft and Netflix and Amazon had observed that when people had instant access to try, they also were very eager to buy in consequence, and I think this is really of tremendous benefit for everyone. And the game developers also want to have lots of games that are not instantly accessible for people to purchase them. So for instance, Destiny, you do not have instantly accessible on any of those servers. You can't access it, you got to buy it and purchase the DLC and everything else. There are lots of other AAA blockbusters that are not accessible. On the other hand, both Microsoft and PlayStation are offering lots of games on sale very frequently, so you always have to pay attention to the sales coming in. In fact, I would say that PlayStation perhaps are somewhat, slightly better than Microsoft, because every Tuesday they throw in new games and they have quite a variety of different prices. So if you are, let's say, interested in a particular game, and if you give it like 3 months and you watch the price ranges, you'll find the one that suits you. You'll be able to acquire it. And also it's a greater choice of those games that are offered on deals. Microsoft are generally offering lots of games as part of certain packages, like Xbox bundles, and obviously they work out fine. In fact, at the moment, for anyone who is a great fan of The Division or Anthem, you can get the entire package with the top tier edition for £250, and on top of that you will also get subscriptions to EA Origins, Xbox Live and Xbox Game Pass. So altogether it works out like for Xbox One S you will get the console for less than £100. Otherwise you will be paying almost 200. So it's a very, very good deal, and indeed drawing many potential consumers in and offering the services, as you could see, initially free of charge for a little while, either a month or a couple of months, and therefore people can try them and then continue subscribing. And I think it's a very, very good model, because obviously video gaming interest is on the rise, and we've seen across all social networking forums that people are using video gaming in order to communicate, to connect, and they will use also gaming as the means through which they'll bond with other people or indeed try to get some revenue. So it's a new way through which people can be finding new friendships and new connections worldwide, and it is a very effective one. So trying it for a few months, and definitely very, very positive. And just coming back to Mordor, anybody who's interested, Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor is an open world action adventure video game, and it was developed by Monolith Productions, and the publisher was Warner Brothers Interactive. So you can also subscribe to Warner Brothers as you're accessing the game, which is quite beneficial. As you're progressing, you'll be getting some extra loot, some rewards, and instant access to certain sections of Warner Brothers services. It's very, very useful. And it was also released for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in September 2014. We already had a sequel. The sequel was really very well received in the same way as the original. And also what's instantly noticeable when you look at it, it does remind you of basically The Lord of the Rings and G.R. Tolkien, because you really get the flavor of that ancient distant world with orcs and all kinds of terrifying creatures out there, and then the heroes are obviously fighting the forces of the darkness. And you play the character called Ranger, and he bonds with the wraith of the elf lord Celebrimor, and then basically two of them join forces in order to avenge deaths of their loved ones. And initially when I looked at it, it reminded me also a bit of Dishonored, the way it started with death, but I just played maybe a couple of hours, and I'm still sort of finding my way in, because it also has the autosave. And what's a bit uncanny is if you are reaching certain section of the game, you will have to really neutralize the captain on one of the enemies in order to save directly, otherwise you'll be just replaying it. And I still have to really explore that further, but the initial impression has been indeed very, very positive. I'm enjoying it. I'm highly recommending that if anyone's interested in what PlayStation Now Service is about, then obviously this is the time to try them. Just step in, have a look, and try Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. Coming back to the last few months, we had excellent games such as Metal Gear Solid 5 introduced. We've had last month Borderlands, one of the editions, and Mordor obviously in the course of this month. So every month we get something which is really tremendous. And in addition to the top game, there will be about 6 or 7 other games coming in as well. So we are really talking about the expansion of the services and many other people coming in and exploring them. So yeah, that's the news. I apologize for our delay today, but as I said, I have a bit of a hectic schedule at present, and there will be days where we'll have to toy a bit with the morning against the evening stream. And maybe if we are to be running some evening streams as well, then we'll be looking at fierce action. We'll do something which is very, very enjoyable, and that is exactly what I'm intending to do right now, because I'm about 2 hours, and we'll just enjoy all of our niceties here in Destiny 1. So to bring you back to date and to update you basically, I need to tell you that my Warlock is coming to 400, so we have 398 in there, 40, 398. I'm getting some loot which is also 399, so we are going to be there in no time. We had this week several sessions with Sea Heroic Strikes. We were doing the Nightfall, we were doing some patrolling, we've done some missions with our community members. There were several who popped in and wanted to do certain things in order to move forward, and that's been very, very enjoyable. In fact, last week one of our community members from Sweden, who is progressing I think on his Hunter, was asking me to help him with leveling up, because he does not have Rise of Iron. So we were looking at his missions and then replaying some of those which I've done through my characters, and it was a very, very good, very enjoyable experience. And what we'll do tonight is we'll just crack on with our Warlock. So let's have a look. Let's carry on with Warlock Human Male 40, 398, played by DRBMiller. Zach is here as well. Zach, hello, how are you doing? Very good to see you, and thank you very much for coming. And Zach was saying that he was surprised to see that the stream was delivered so late in the day, UK time, and he was grateful because actually he could be here today because it's late. I'm very glad to see that. I'm very glad to hear it, because obviously you are about 9 hours back. You're in the US. And Zach is also asking, have you tried Dauntless? I was going to try the game on the day, and when it came out, which was last Friday I think, and was it Friday before? Time flies, but 10 days ago. And I've seen it obviously well advertised on my news feeds. I've not downloaded it yet, and just due to the hectic schedule, I had no time, but I'm definitely going to have a look at it, because Dauntless reminds me of Monster Hunter World, and it looked to me like a combination of Fortnite and Monster Hunter World, and obviously it was receiving quite good positive feedback so far. Obviously the game is free to download, free to play, so why not try it? And that's the idea. I'll probably download it on a weekend and then try it later in a week, or maybe I'll just try it on the weekend as well. We'll see. Definitely I want to try it. Have you played Dauntless, Zach? And are you liking it? And perhaps you can provide us with a bit of a feedback, because I did have 2 or 3 people also popping in last week and asking, anyone tried Dauntless? And I said it's on my list, but I've not tried it yet, so it'd be interesting to hear from you on your own personal experience of it. Zach says it is a bit more like fast-paced Monster Hunter World, and Zach Attack says yeah, I'm loving it right now. So I mean, basically I guess it has less of an RPG element in it, and it has a lot more action, right? So it's more pacey, and it's more based on destruction of these monsters, because I've seen the characters advertised, they're sort of carrying all kinds of weapons, and also some machetes and axes and that sort of thing, right? Skate is here, Skate 9085, saying good evening to you, sir. Thank you for coming, thank you for joining us, and thank you for watching my Destiny 1 broadcast. Thank you for being a member of our community as well. Hope you are going to be coming back as well, and joining forces with the rest of the Destiny veterans here. We have many people who work with the game from the beginning, and tonight we are having a kind of late in the day stream, because I was unable to deliver the stream earlier today. So good to see you, Skate. Thanks very much for coming. And Zack Attack says, the best way I can describe it, it's Monster Hunter World style combat at Terra speed. I got it. So it also has a bit of that open world. You have several characters. Sounds very good and exciting. Is it brutal? Or is it just, I was a bit surprised with Mordor when I started it. It was very brutal, and I'm not in favour of brutality in video gaming. This is not really my kind of thing. Also not in films either.
Ready to assist.
So we have a mystery bag there. We want to see what the mystery bag is, and I know that in consumables I have hardly anything. So basically what I need to do is I need to make sure that we use some of the stuff. So what's this? Increased Vanguard reputation, rewards from strike place. That's right, we'll take that. So we'll use this one. And then what we'll do is we'll pick this up. So we've got the mystery bag in as well. And we'll have a look at what is in the mystery bag. So we got some good kits, Spectre robes, reputation booster twice, and blue chroma. Skate says I played Destiny 1 at launch until Destiny 2 and then stopped as the community died. Well, Skate, I can tell you that my experience is somewhat different. I've not played Destiny from the early days. I started both with my channel and Destiny World about less than a year ago. It was during last summer, so I think my first streams were in September of 2018, and I actually had exactly a different kind of experience, because I felt that the community was very much alive, vibrant and active. The difference there is that there are very few streamers doing Destiny 1 every day, and therefore there aren't that many viewers of Destiny. But I do find that the actual Destiny, Bungie server is very busy with lots of people out there at all times. I think there are between 100 and 250,000 people playing the Crucible still, currently, per day. And there are lots of people doing story missions and everything else. The only difference there is that they've reduced the number of rooms, and therefore there's a very long, sometimes, wait for people to get in. But in terms of the strikes, I never have a problem getting 3 people in. It just happens at all times. And I think that, just like you said, the community somewhat got dispersed, because the vast majority of Destiny 1 veterans went to Destiny 2. And therefore this degree of interactivity had not been retained on the vast majority of Twitch channels that were streaming Destiny. In fact, very few had remained. The vast majority have gone to Destiny 2 and other games. So Skate says, that's very good to hear. I might have to get back to it. Well, I can tell you that I had a wonderful experience, and the community I have here on my channel is tremendous. We have a mixture of mature gamers with some youngsters. We have a combination of the veterans with the newbies. We have some people who play games for fun, and we have some seriously competitive gamers in here as well. One of the competitive gamers is here with us tonight, Zack Attack, as you can see on Twitch. So if Skate, you have any questions in terms of anything which is kind of competition related, or speedrun related, or how to get certain scores, Zack is here. You can fire away any questions you have. I'm sure you'll be able to answer them most appropriately. In fact, Zack was taking questions previously as well in many of our sessions, and it's just wonderful to see that we have a group of competitive players coming in who are also interested in helping others and not just looking at their own game and the score. So that is really very rewarding, and therefore this channel is entirely dedicated to the community. We have lots of people coming in here who talk, and sometimes we'll have maybe 2 or 3 hours of just talking, and without any gaming taking place at all. because we bond, we talk, we share ideas, and therefore also my channel and my gaming hub on the internet is called not film, beg your pardon, it's called DRBMiller's Gaming Dialogue. I nearly said film dialogue because that is my hub dedicated to cinema history and film industry, but in this instance we are talking about gaming dialogue. Zach says it isn't that bad as long as you play at your level with a team, but if you play solo or over your level, then you will be in for a very, very big challenge. And every new boss past till about 150, 200 ones are going to likely to kill you as few times before you get the hang of them. But I've been playing over my level and a lot of solo under manhunts and getting some difficulties, although I have learned a lot of cheese and AI manipulation. Well, that's, you know, something that I guess you will be learning as you carry on, and it's very good to hear that the game is entertaining. There's nothing worse than doing a new game which is like boring and not drawing in any other teammates. And Zach says, and with those tricks I was able to solo one of the 275 bosses at level. Well, very good. Sounds very good and exciting, and I congratulate you on that. Really good stuff. Just very quickly see what we've got here. I'll download it. Actually, you reminded me of this. I had such a busy week, you know, and I wouldn't say I didn't forget about Dauntless, but I just didn't look at my list, and I will download it ASAP, and then I'll try it, and we'll be able to talk about it as well. I love trying those new games that are offered for free. You know, I think it's really tremendous, and the vast majority of them are having, obviously, a great deal of success as well. So, really, always good to try. So let me see those robes. Spectre robes are 3 defense, but actually that is a bit deceptive, as the robes are full of very good perks. So, you know, anyone who's got Spectre robes will be always the best by simply increasing them. So what we'll do is we'll just have a look at all the other ones. We have 390 Rakuizumi, Bakken Dune 390, 391, Temporis Flow 397. So what we'll do is we'll just infuse Temporis Flow with this one, because this one is much superior. So let's see, where is Temporis Flow 397? There we are. Dismantle for infusion. So we've got immediately our Spectre Robes 397, which is almost near the top, one of the best chest pieces that we have. And let me see, we have 400, which we'll keep on. Zach says, anyway, I'm going to have to go. Have fun and good luck with the drops. Well, thanks very much, Zach. Also, thank you very much for popping in and saying hello. Really appreciate it. And I really look forward to seeing you again. I will continue with my regular streams, but it may be that the schedule will kind of vary depending on my commitments. We'll have to see. It's been a bit variable in the course of the last week because of all of my commitments. But it's always good to have you with us, and always good to hear your news as well. Great to hear about Dauntless. I'm very excited because you're the person who's obviously been doing it quite a bit, and we had other people coming in and asking questions. So if anybody else pops in tonight or on any other day, I'll be able to feedback all you said, and that's always brilliant. I always really like the community feedback the best, because some of the reports in press are rigged and they might be a bit sort of biased towards certain publishers, and I prefer neutrality and independence. That's exactly what this channel is about. So thank you so much, and obviously I wish you a very good day, good results with Dauntless, and I look forward to seeing you here again in the near future. So let's have a look what else we got. We got some engrams. They will need decoding. We have, as you could see already, 398 points here of light, and I'm kind of looking forward to increase them to 399. Alright, so what we'll do is, we have also this one. So it's treasure key. And the treasure key, I believe, can be also dismantled, to get seal offerings. No, that's wrong. I just completely forgot it. Consumed to receive has judgment reputation. So if we are to be doing anything like Prison of Elders, then we'll use that. Alright, so that's all sorted out. Goodbye, my friends. And I will need to be decoding, I think, multi engrams in there. So let's see what these are, and then we'll crack on with some fierce action.
Let's see what we have then. That looks
This
very
engram
solid, Guardian.
is Bond of Credulity. Can't even talk today, look at that. Brain went shriveled. 385 we don't really need because we already have 400 in here. No, 398. I thought we had 400. Just a minute. 398. That's 399. Why on earth is this one on? I just picked it up, in fact. So what we want is Crucible, Champion, Hand Cannon and Sidearms. And what's the new one? The new one has Vanguard, Pulse Rifle and Sidearm Focus. Okay, not really interested in that. So what we're going to do is we'll infuse. We'll infuse 399. So we have 399 defense going up. And look at that. Isn't this wonderful? With this infusion, I got 1 point extra, so I'm 399. 1 point, one single point away from 4400, the magic number. Skate says, I just read your biography. Looks like you stream mostly during the day. Do you do evenings regularly too, or is this one-off? Well, to be honest with you, I had a period of about 2 months earlier this year where I was streaming almost exclusively in the evenings, and I'll be starting around 7 o'clock p.m. UK time, and then we'd end around 2 o'clock in the morning or so. And the reason for that was that I tried to explore the American market, i.e. the American audiences and community members. And I have to say it was a very, very successful few months because we had lots of people coming in, usually people who were sort of approaching either late afternoon or early evening in the US. But I find it to be a bit too taxing on my abilities because by that time I'm quite tired, and also therefore it changes my kind of regular structure, the day structure. So I decided not to do that anymore, and I generally focused on the earlier in the day streams. So usually how it works is I start at around 10 o'clock and I finish around 4 o'clock. So on average is between 5 to 6 hours. We've had some days where we had lengthier streams, also to do with a very, very busy community, doing some specific tasks and that. But also in terms of my attention span, I find 5 to 6 hours is just enough for me. Anything which is lengthier than that is just kind of diluting my attention, and because I'm absolutely focused on the community, I always want to be responding to all the messages coming in and what people do, and one of the reasons why people subscribe to this channel, come in here, is all about that degree of interaction. You know what, I had several people last week coming in saying, we watch lots of different channels, but your channel is the most interactive. You talk to everyone and everyone talks to each other, and I obviously was very pleased to hear that from this particular community member, and he said that he always comes to this channel because he likes discussions, he likes educated views coming in from other community members, or indeed in-depth review of certain games. Like you could see, Zach came in, told us exactly through several of his comments in depth on Dauntless, the new game that's currently available, also playable free of charge, and it's that sort of content that my community members really like. So what I've done is I actually watched some other Destiny streamers during the last couple of weeks, to find out whether there's a difference in in the way they do it. And I have to say, my community member was inherently right, because he described other gamers as being focused on their own game, and they weren't really looking at the chat or reading or interacting as much. They would, for instance, acknowledge the presence of the new community member, but they wouldn't respond to the comments made. And I think that is extremely unpopular. I think everybody comes in, find new team members, find team members. The idea is to find new friends, to bond with other people globally, and also to share ideas, because video gaming industry is very well developed and it's progressing forward rapidly. We have new inventions and new games coming out every single day, and the sheer number of people engaging with video gaming industry today is just mind-boggling. I think we are likely to see even greater expansion as the industry is now taking a view that everything needs to be cross-platform. So that is going to be the next step, and then we'll have everybody coming in, because in here have lots of people coming in on Xbox, and they will ask Xbox or PS, you know. And when I say, well, actually, presently it is just PS, and then they ask, well, could you please help us to find some other teammates for Xbox? And I would help them, you know, and advertise for those teammates on my Twitter. I ask them to post also messages on my Instagram as well as here. And, you know, they find some teammates. But then once they find the teammates, they don't necessarily come back because they see it as being closely tied to one platform. Do you know what I mean? So, and the idea is always to deliver the best possible broadcast, which is most enjoyable, you know, for people to like and
Always an interesting
to come back
conversation,
to. So we've got all of this sorted. My admin is sorted, and really, quite frankly, what we'll do is we'll just crack on with some strikes. See if heroic strikes. I need to see whether I am full of bounties. In fact, I'm not. I indeed can pick up maybe 2 or 3 bounties in there. We have one. Okay, one needs to be resolved, and that is perpetual light. Generate orbs of light to earn cycle of light medals and see the price of strikes. Got some mods, got some reputation. So we have 3 spaces. What we're going to do is going to take 3 of these, I think. 1, 2, 3, and we'll immediately proceed to the strikes. Just coming, you know, getting back to Skate. Generally, at the moment, my streams are during the day, so that, you know, from about 10 to 4. But then on certain days, I also have an early evening stream where I'm promoting PS Now services, and currently I'm doing on PS Now several games. I have Red Dead Redemption, I have Two Worlds 2, I have Metal Gear Solid 5, and I have what was the other one? Shadow of Mordor. I was just talking about it today, and still quite a few games on my list as well. So what I do sometimes is I'm promoting PlayStation Now services through my early evening streams, and those have been in the recent weeks of Metal Gear Solid 5, the game which I think is one of the very best offered on PS Now services. Absolute tremendous stealth strategy game, and, you know, many missions. I also played I also played Ghost Recon Wildlands. That was offered free of charge, you know, recently, and we've had lots of people coming in. It was very successful. And I also played Apex. This was basically part of the promotions initially during the first 2 weeks, and during those 2 weeks I just played Apex. Destiny was not, you know, streamed then, and you know, so there's quite a variety. But to put it in perspective, Destiny 1 is basically pegged to this channel. It's the backbone of everything I do here. So it is not a channel exclusively dedicated to Destiny, but Destiny is the game that actually prevails. We have 1 Destiny stream per day. And last year, when I started experimenting, you know, with Twitch streams, and when I obviously began with my channel, I had Destiny 1 in the morning, and then Destiny 2 in the evening, because obviously it was a period where I was actually building the community. I find that to be a bit too hard for myself, because obviously I need to be then swinging from one game to another, and in addition to that, I find it too tiring. I like being focused on one thing at a time. Yeah. And Skate says, well, if you end up doing streams around this time, I'll make sure I come by. Well, there will be, you know, there will be some streams, but there will not be like everyday streams around this time. It's likely that there will be like 2 or 3 during the week. But at present, as I'm focused on, you know, some other projects which I'm currently also building and pursuing, I've got to have that time for those projects. And my project, which is called Film Dialogue, has been basically placed on hold for about 6 months because I worked on this channel, and I've got to be able to balance it out, if you know what I mean. Film Dialogue also has a selection of streams on Rabbit. Rabbit is, you probably would have heard about it. Rabbit is a hub on the internet through which you can be basically streaming anything that you can get on the browser. So if you're subscribed to Netflix or Amazon, you can actually stream those films through your browser, and obviously you need to have the app, and then you can also attract a community and followers. So that is what I've been doing before starting out with Twitch channel, and I've had a break now for about 6 months, and I have to obviously get back into it because I've had some community members asking, you know, what's happening, and I've been building playlists. So I have very many films. I have a couple of playlists that exceed like 2,000 or 3,000 films, and you know they can be obviously streamed with ease. And the idea is to run them a bit like repertory cinemas. You have several films which are repeating themselves during the day, so people can obviously choose the actual time when they can watch them. And I'll be cracking on with that as from next week. So from the beginning of next week, that's going to be running at the same time. So thank you. Thanks very much, Kate, for coming in, and thank you for obviously your very kind words. Very glad that you like the channel. And if you leave my channel on alerts, you'll be able to get alerts on your phone or tablet indicating when the channel is kind of when the live stream is actually up and running. But at the moment it will be between 10 and 4 during the day primarily, and then sometimes in the evening as well. Right, so we've come to the moment where we are to choose our strikes. So we're going to do Siva Heroics. There are lots of interesting strikes there this week, and as you know, these are always enjoyable, sometimes very hard, and best played in a team of 3. There we are. Let's see what the modifiers are this week. Catapult, grenade recharge is increased. Juggler, ammunition drops for equipped weapon. That is a very, very bad mod. It causes problems where you have some of the missions with big bosses. Arc burn, arc damage from any source is greatly increased. Heroic, enemies will come in large numbers. So we have like two modifiers that are not particularly Guardian friendly, right? And then we have this one, grenade recharge rate is increased. That really helps because you don't have to worry about your super. There we are. We'll crack on straight away. Yesterday, Sekapupa and myself were doing the weekly Nightfall Strike.
Xerix has brought unsettling news.
And it was very
The
difficult.
Devil Splicers have used Siva to resurrect an old foe. Tenix the Scarred has become Tenix Perfected.
Tanix's crew has joined the Splicers. They're using Siva to reanimate his body and overtake his territory. Lord Saladin says you were indispensable in old Russia, Guardian. We thought you should be the one to handle this.
Well, this is a very difficult strike. That's just a fact. Done it many times. And if I'm doing it by myself, let's see. Well, I'm not, obviously. I'm being brought into somebody else's strike, by the looks of it. But you know what? I need to turn the sound down as well, because my sound is very, very loud. And that's because the sound on Mordor was not particularly loud, so I'd be massively increasing it to hear what all the different characters are saying. So let's just make sure we're doing friends and stuff. We may need that rocket launcher. That's correct, we do need that rocket launcher. This shank exploded in my face. That is annoying. The other chap is also dead, so that's no fun. Thank you. You got me. You did manage to inflict some damage though. And Skate says, oh, this brings so many memories. Absolutely. It certainly does. I love Destiny. I think Destiny is one of the best games of that type ever made, and it's highly replayable. You can obviously do it in so many different ways, and always the best played in a team, team of 3. The rocket didn't destroy the thing. Whoops. What was that? What killed me? Skip is asking, have you done all the raids? I played all the raids, but I've not completed all of them. I think I still have to complete the Rafting Machine and what's the other one I can install? I left them for the very end because I wanted my character to be 4400, and once I complete all 3 characters, then we'll have raids very frequently. We'll have a couple of teams, you know? That's the idea. Alright. Oh, he's gone. We need to destroy those sealers in there. Mind you, I got him, caused him serious damage there with my super, so that's pretty good. I did not see any sealers anywhere. What I do need is another super, another heavy. Go away. Skates asking select level 400 drops from all activities. Now it used to be just raids. You can get it from Siva Heroic Strikes, you can get it from Prison of Elders, and you can get it from the Nightfall. So it's not every activity, but you know, the most difficult kind of sections of the game. Panic killed me again. Thank you. Killed me over 3 or 4 times. That's gonna be difficult. Probably there. Where is he gone?
You prevented Siva from restarting Tanix's mercenary operation. The nanites continue to evolve their function.
The Guardian will have plenty of opportunities to study Siva. The devils are far from defeated.
Okay, I got some stuff, so that's good. Let's see if there's anything else to pick up elsewhere. House banners. Nope, nothing else. But I did get some hopefully good stuff. Hopefully 400 as well. But don't forget I was brought in towards the end of the strike. Didn't start the strike from the beginning. So let's see, what did I get? An engram. 400 Cloak of Tanix and Bond of Polarity. Let's see whether this is 400, I think it is. Another strike in there. I think this is 400. Nope. What we'll do is we'll just bring the other one. And then we'll infuse. Make it 400. Was the wrong thing to do, actually.
The Black Garden may not stay among us for long. Something has begun to repair the schism torn by its destruction. Vex now flood the garden channels to protect it. We must stop the Weavers before they seal the garden and begin to summon back its heart.
So we'll use blue polyphage and yeah. Use blue polyphage because as we kill Vex, we get extra glimmer.
I like this place better when it's dead.
We do want our sword back on. Dark Drinker, put extra heavy as well. And that seems good. The enemies appear to be very strong as well. Neutralize them either. Sure. to hotspot, mate. Thank you. Should have died. Getting killed quite a bit, that's because of the soft weapon modifier. Going the wrong way. For the benefit of our viewers, what we are doing is Siva Heroic Strikes, and it's a fighting of 3, as you can see, and we just crack on. We want to get, you know, some other bits of loot, which is 400. As you can see, we gained 1 point, some 43.99 over 4 off. Getting that desired 400 in there. Yeah, I need to be using a different chest piece because I'm very vulnerable in there. So I need to double check, see what what the problem is. Solar burn defense. No heavy ammunition. Too bad, my friend, too bad. We need a lot more of that heavy ammunition. Why on earth was our friend up there? Some snipers in there as well. Oh well. We resolve those immediately with our swords. Come on, respawn. Careful with it. Super does it. Super does it. Yeah, we are doing very well. A very good team. Very supportive. Very buddy-buddy, as you can see. So really good and enjoyable. The other day I played with a randomly selected team, and there's one guy in there who just stood next to me and he wouldn't revive me. I just couldn't believe it. And several times, when in fact I revived him probably half a dozen times. Okay, we got it. Right, so now we need to change to our other weapon, which is that rocket launcher. Causing quite a bit of damage. Sitting on me though. No heavy ammunition. What is happening?
The Black Garden remains here, among the light. But the red will never cease until their justice is restored. And we
Do
must
not
keep
have
it
any skeletons
until we can
here.
understand its origins.
So therefore I can't do anything. Someone else did have a skeleton key, but not me. What did I get, if anything? Nothing. The other chaps are gone already. Engram. Yeah, I actually shouldn't have taken that Warlock bond there into infusion, because it would have done me well with my Warlock bond, Hunter's bond, or Hunter's whatever it is, because I could have done that otherwise. Yeah, I could have kept it from the Hunter.
Whether we wanted it or not, we've stepped into a war with the Cabal on Mars. So let's get to taking out their command, one by one. Valus Ta'arik. From what I can gather, he commands the siege dancers from an Imperial land tank outside of Rubicon. He's well protected. But with the right team, we can punch through those defenses, take this beast out, and break their grip on Freehold.
Let's find access to their system. See if we can track down Valus Ta'arik. Got it. I'll let Commander Zavala know there's one less problem on Mars.
Valis Ta'Ark has finally been defeated and the Cabal command dealt a great blow. But in the darkness rising, more fleets will come and new leaders will rise. We must be ready to face them all.
I'm tracking reports of fallen splicers spotted in and around the Hellmouth. Intel suggests they're hunting ogres. Get down there. Make sure they don't snatch up any more fodder for their twisted experiments. No time for sightseeing, you two. Hit the summoning pits before the devil splicers can grab any more abominations for their priests to play around with.
By play around, you mean torture, vivisect, and disembowel?
Well, yeah. But when you put it that way, I almost feel bad for the Hive.
So why the Hive? Seems like a dangerous fight to pick.
The splicers are playing God. They view Siva as a means to reshape life how they see fit. The Hive are just victims of the splicers' willingness to push their curiosity.
Triptych of Hive runes.
It's a lock. Open it.
I'm on it. Splicers, heading our way. The lock's fighting me, like everything else the Hive make. Hold on. The pattern here is chaotic, but I think I figured it out. Just one more rune to crack. Splicers, heading our way. The lock's fighting me, like everything else the Hive did. Hold on. The pattern here is chaotic, but I think I figured it out. Just one more rune to crack. Heads up, the splicers are onto us. The lock's fighting me, like everything else the Hive made. Hold on. Pattern here is chaotic. I think I figured it out. Just one more rune to crack. Rune's clear. We're through. So much pain in that scream. Why do I get the sense the ogres enjoy it? We're going to have to find another way.
I don't care if you have to hitch a ride on a tomb ship, Guardian. I need you in those summoning pits.
We had some technical problems, so there was no sound. I apologize. I could see Matthias was here. Hello Matthias, how are you doing? Very good to see you. Had some glitches through today, so it didn't really work properly. Couldn't really get it to work. And I think it's working now, so that's pretty good, right? We are doing some SIVA heroic strikes, and today it's sort of an evening stream because I had some changes in my schedule, and therefore
Don't look down, okay?
obviously make sure we had some continuity.
Never take my own advice.
Because obviously the weekend was taken up by the festival, and I was not able to do streams the weekend either. So there we are. Heroic strikes tonight.
Jump
We'll,
before it's too late.
have a shorter stream than usual.
I'm detecting heavy splicer signatures. They're already here.
Get in there, Guardian. Put the splicers down and end whatever monstrosity the Hive are conjuring.
strikes are quite difficult, and I think that the reason for that is you modify it yourself.
Of Hive bioweaponry. Combining what they learn with SIVA's potential, that would give the splicers a whole new bag of tricks.
Skeleton key, maybe?
Sounds like a nightmare.
Anywhere?
Yes, it does. Good thing you put a stop to it.
Everything's falling now, look at that. Nah, no goodies in here, but looks like it must go to the tower. Make sure that my inventory is empty. Too many things in inventory. Hope you guys are enjoying the strikes. We had lots of fun so far, and also we're kind of progressing through them rather quickly, although some of the strikes are quite difficult. It's brought in to about 2 or 3 strikes where we weren't really starting at the beginning, and leave matchmaking. In fact, I need to go to the tower. So nice thorough clean up, you know. There we are. Apologise for the technical problems and what was going on in there. The sound was just simply not operating early on. We didn't actually play by technical problems of late. We've had one day where Destiny 1 and 2 servers maintenance, then we had some problems with Bungie servers not allowing access. Today some sound problems. Don't know what's going on. Hope it all gets resolved. As you could see, my Warlock is nearly 400. We have 4399, and that is very, very close to what we want to achieve. So we just have to hope that we are going to be getting some good loot still. I'm trying to think what else to do in order to get it. Thank you to Skate for following us. Thank you so much, sir, for coming in and joining our community. Hope you enjoy the channel as well. Let's see. Well, now we need to go to Master the Hall first because we are quite full already.
I'll give you whatever answers I can.
Too much money already.
Very fine.
No, it's nothing. None of that is going to be useful. I need to get rid of it all. Too many of these everywhere. Plenty of those that are not needed. Warlock Bond 400 we've got. Memory of Perun. 390 again. 390 again. We don't need any of these. Slide on. What was that thing last there? No, we're gonna. Husk of the Pit. Let me try Husk of the Pit as well. Let me see then. We have 400, 399, 400, 399, 400, 400. So in fact, gauntlet and boots, right? 399, 390. Is there 400 in there as well? No, 399, 399. 398. Yeah, okay, so that's all sorted. Hopefully, we just need to look at the inventory as well. Inventory needs to be also a bit cleaner than that. Resupply codes. Supply center relay. I'll be able to pick up anything on the consumables, I don't think.
Be careful. Oh, that headache again. I swear, as soon as I see them in my dreams.
We'll go back to the strikes. We'll carry on for a little while still. Very good to see Matthias and Zach and Slate and all the other friends here tonight. Indeed, a bit unusual for me to be streaming this late, but as I said, I wanted to get some continuity going because obviously I've had 2 days without streams on Saturday and Sunday, and then today we didn't have a morning stream, and on Friday again I will not have a day stream either. Tomorrow we'll have a regular stream 10 to 4, and then the weekend's going to be as usual. So I apologise for somewhat being absent, but it's been a hectic period and there are lots of different commitments which I do have, and therefore particularly the commitments where I'm meeting people out there in real life, and if the appointments are scheduled during the day, then evidently I can't be doing the streams at the same time. I actually thought maybe sometimes I can put on a stream which is like a replay of the other one, but then my afterthought was the reason people come to this channel at all times is to do with the fact that we are always talking live. It's all about communication, so watching some streams there where you can't communicate will be actually defeating the purpose. And I've seen one of my colleagues, she does daily live streams and she has a replay of everything literally throughout the rest of the day. It's a different kind of channel. I think what we do here is all about live communication, doing it live, communicating, bonding, connecting, establishing new friendships, sharing thoughts and views in real time, and then there's a reminder or refresher if anyone wants to kind of watch it again through replay on YouTube and Twitch, but that's optional, of course. Some people do. Usually people who are not in position to watch the stream during the day, they'll have a look at it some other time. But from my point of view, it's all about broadcasting live and communicating, and therefore if I don't have a daily stream, obviously we'll catch up on another day and we'll do it live again. So that's the idea. Because people use all types of automated things on Twitch, and I'm not very keen on that, I have to admit. Sometimes people can also download extensions to get bot messages and moderators. It's nonsense, really. It just makes it very robotic, and I know for myself, I always like doing what I like doing. What I don't like is receiving automated messages, so why should I be using any of those? It really definitely would be very off-putting to myself first of all, and then to everyone else out there. We'll carry on with some Siva heroics. Why not? Should be good fun. So without further ado, stand by and then proceed to our next destination. Looks like we are going to be brought into somebody else's strike. Well, let's see. I have to admit I'm a bit tired. Therefore, I can really tell the difference between my usual morning
Funny
screen
story
right
for you.
now.
Remember that
really
Centurion
feel,
Oryx took right after
it's
you landed
late.
on the Dreadnought? Then the Centurion and the Taken Ogre
We'll do
tried to
2 more
stop you from
strikes
killing
and
the
we call
king?
it tonight. But it's been good fun so far.
Didn't work. So the Centurion's Bond brothers are pretty angry they lost their commander. They're leading a team to blow the Dreadnought's core. Core goes, most of the system goes with it. You're gonna make sure that doesn't happen.
Cade is everyone's favorite character. Look it up on various forums online. People heartbroken when certain things happen in Destiny 2. Seem to be dead now, isn't it? Come on, load. Look at this. So where is our friend? Racing back to revive somebody and guess what? It's just not happening.
A tank? Why would you bring a tank to space?
I heard Ikora say once that the Cabal have 6 words for advance and none for retreat. I'm really not one for fancy speeches, so when you find them, shoot them.
Why did he not die? What's going on? Must have really fired off the action badly.
Taken and Cabal fighting for the bridge. Wherever the brothers are, they aren't here. Let's keep moving.
Let's keep moving. That's the idea. But the other guys, I mean, obviously I was brought in somebody else's strike that was saying. So I need to hurry up as well. But what I'm doing
I bet those brothers don't even know their
on.
commander is dead. Their attack might be some kind of ultimatum. Give us the Primus, or we blow the ship.
We still have some. Okay. Put the sword on. Carry on. It's very good to see some people coming in earlier saying this brings back a lot of good memories. It certainly does, but for me, it's just like active gameplay rather than old memories. But they're waiting for me. Pretty good. Because they know that the brothers are going to be very difficult. Well, usually they are.
Something's wrong with this picture. You get 3 guesses. There are munitions hooked up to each structural weakness on the core. I think the brothers know we're here.
Lobby. The lobby. What's going on with this fire?
Done. The Brotherhood is broken.
I hear that the Cabal are big on honor, but look at their actions, not their words. You've put an end to war criminals, butchers, And you've shown the Empire what the Vanguard's all about. Nice work.
No, didn't get anything. Didn't get anything. Literally nothing. Let's have a look at another one. We'll do another strike and then call it tonight, I think. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I certainly am, but I'm a bit tired. And,
Guardian, we've picked up a high-gain transmission. Origin point is somewhere along the coast, near the Cosmodrome.
Я в опасности. Системы повреждены.
That's Rasputin, the AI Warmind. If I'm understanding him correctly, it's a distress call. There are so few ballet fans left, Guardian. It'd be a shame to lose him.
I just going to say that this is late in the day for me compared to the usual day streams, and
We can't afford
I can
another
really tell
omnibus
the difference
situation.
for myself.
Get in there, assess the threat, and aid
Much
Rasputin.
prefer doing it
A threat to the Warmind is a threat to the city as well.
Военный спутник запущен. Коды доступа внутри.
Rasputin's dropping a warsat from orbit. It contains codes we'll need to gain access to his bunker.
Didn't get killed by debris, which is good. Funny because a few months ago I remember talking to my newsman that's Destiny reference here, and just said, you know, once you've done many strikes, you just remember everything in fact. That's exactly what happens, you know. Practice makes perfect, right? I'm very far from, you know, being perfect. But, you know, once you practice quite a lot, and, you know, things kind of improve bit by bit. There's a lot of stuff now.
I'm going as fast as I can. You'd think Rasputin would have made this a little easier on us.
It's annoying. Scroll exploded. Well done and dusted. I thought because we destroyed August, we just simply move on, but that was not good. Bit. Almost there.
I've got access. Let's go.
And there we are, we've got access. We are about to proceed. That's okay.
Доступ получен. Аннулирование протокола.
I'm detecting comm signals deep in the vault.
Anyone with a radio could have picked up Rasputin's distress call. If we don't shut it down, half the Cosmodrome could be at his front door.
The shank.
I could try to override Rasputin's system locks, but no telling how he might react. There must be some other way to bypass his systems.
Система взломана. Нанесен урон. Запущено планирование контрмер.
It worked. Maybe too well.
Another shank.
All that raw power. Someday we'll establish communications with the war mind. Speak to it. Understand it. If we are ever to reach a second goal, it will be with Rasputin at our side.
Plenty of heavy ammunition in there. Extraordinary. Wrong way. The other guys are racing a bit, as you can see.
As a fellow inorganic life form, I just want to note that Rasputin has a much better setup than I do. He has a secret bunker with space weapons. I live in your backpack.
Высокий приоритет мобильному юниту. Уничтожить его немедленно.
Join the allies.
Sorry, just a little longer. I think Rasputin is testing me.
Высокий приоритет мобильному юниту. Уничтожить его немедленно.
That shank's been modified to crack his system. Let's take it out.
Never mind, we move again. Oh. No more ammunition, or what? Too bad.
You know, they probably built that thing out of scrap from the Cosmodrome. It's lucky that it managed to work as well as it did. Maybe it was the size. It was pretty big, for a shank. Would I be more useful with a larger chassis?
Yes. In any case, Guardian, that was impressive work. The skies will remain free of weapons, for the time being.
Unfortunately, I don't have skeleton keys, so I can't open the chest. I'm getting nothing out of it. And by the looks of it, we'll do another strike. Which is a bit annoying, but we are trying to get at least one or two other pieces, which are 400. Well, you never know, we may be able to get them. I did get 2 of them already tonight, therefore my character is, as you could see, 399. Zach is asking, have you done the Nightfall this week? Sekapupa and myself were doing it as a 2-piece earlier this week. It was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And I was pushed for time, so we didn't finish it. And we'll do it on another day where I have a bit more time. We sort of started with the Nightfall strike a bit too late, you know, compared to the usual. Usually I prefer this
Some
Nightfall
creatures of the
early in
Hive
the
strain
broadcast.
against the will of Oryx. Alakhul,
We did
the
have that
Dark
interesting
Blade,
activity,
is one
so it's all
such.
pretty good.
Long ago he fomented rebellion against the king and attempted to take his mantle. Alakhul failed and now awaits the mercy of the Hive. Given the chance, the Dark Blade will step in to take Oryx's crown. We must not allow another prince to rise.
I'm gonna ask Zach, have you played what's it called? Shadow of Mordor? It's a game called, we did talk about it earlier.
The Dark Blade suffers his judgment in the depths of a Hive prison. I am feeding an energy marker to your ghost.
This is the new addition to PlayStation Now services this month, which is a very good game. Zach says, no, I'm not, I've not played it, but I've seen the footage. I actually watched trailers for the sequel more than for the original. And I was quite curious as well. The game was likely to be very similar to Oblivion, it was called, you know. And in fact, it does turn out to be a very, very different sort of game. A lot of fighting elements, probably embedded within a massive big open world. It actually feels and looks a bit like Tolkien's Lord of the Rings series, you know? It's that sort of thing. It's like walking into the Lord of the Rings. And very surprising, I have to say. I've played a few hours of it, and it's quite significantly different from what I expected. But that's always good, you know? It's good to have a game which is, you know, surprising. You'll have to grow on me, I guess, and I'll have to just carry on. But it is a new game on PS Now services, and I think they're being released this week. And you can either download it and play it or stream it, or, you know, the other thing, really. Excuse me. But providing it's lots of good games. Great.
Sense a powerful incantation. Hive runes hold the far door shut.
My scan says the runes draw energy from those towers. If you get me over there, I can hack them and open the door.
Go away. They want to get to Black Hole as quickly as possible, and I don't really. Get there eventually.
The spell is getting weaker. Let's get to the other battery.
Zach says if they're doing as quick as possible, they would already be there. Well, but you know what I mean. It's like before, I'm not really sure about it. Nice. Go back drink as well. Pretty good. Enjoy. Oh, that was awesome. That was the best strike I had today on a wizard. Really happy with that. That made my day, actually. Zach says, since Gunners work when you are dead, so avoid using them while dead. Yeah, I know. It's just like a moment of respite. Otherwise, when somebody strikes, you're going to get very hectic with problem time. I think I never worked with real well in the nitro strike. I didn't have any problems with serious units, but for the nitro strikes, definitely, they don't like it any sense. I tried a few times in the lab.
We're on the right track.
I hate jumping.
Alakul's energy marker is getting stronger.
Find the Dark Blade. Finish this.
Why did the Darkblade rise against Oryx?
The wizard Varrock was his mate. He slew a legion of thralls in her name, marched on the king's throne, at the head of an army built on hate and pain.
Probably.
How romantic.
No sense, right? Well, by the time I get there, maybe. We'll see. Definitely need that synth for my forward. Let's see it again. Is it there? It's taking its time. Don't want to go in there. No.
You first.
No. Goes Buster, right? Why am I like cool Buster. He's probably also waiting for his synth. I'm standing there. Ammunition crate as well. Yeah, it's true. It's here. Where's the other fellow? Where's not coming? No, he's got some sort of internet problem or so. Well, go on. Bring him in.
Darkblade. I sense him.
Defeat the boss. Well, I mean, fucking the Zach's asking why not Fox Super? Yeah, I was thinking of doing it. That was it, right? Super does it, but I'm too full.
May his dark soul go screaming into the pit between the stars.
We weren't fighting there for too long.
A pretender to the crown is dead.
You know,
Know this, Guardian. Al-Akhul was there when we went down into the pit. What you have done in their names.
Oh well. I think that's going to be all the action for today. We'll just go back to the tower, do some admin, and then call it tonight.
Vel Tarlo.
It's been good fun. Haven't been doing any sort of late evening streams for quite a while, so I'm very pleased with the way everything went. It's just a bit tired, and therefore my concentration goes a bit, you know. Affects my, I wouldn't say it doesn't affect my interactivity, but it's just my attention to the game is, you know, therefore somewhat diffused. We'll go to the tower, and then we'll do some admin, and then we will call it tonight. Well, actually I did achieve that one extra point of light, so I brought my character, most notably my warlock, from 398 to 399. So I'm 43.99 on my warlock. That 1 point will come soon, and then we'll focus on our hunter. But the hunter is already, I think, 397, 398, so it will not be a long haul for us to get him up to the top level. And therefore we are going to have all 4 characters 4,400 in Destiny 1, which means we are then complete with every one of those. Maybe I'll replay Destiny 1 on non-human characters on my Xbox. I was considering that. Talked about it on my broadcast several times, and people warmed up to the idea. It'd be so wonderful if you were to replay the game, you know, with other characters, and then you have a different story. That's the beauty of Mass Effect. If you guys play Mass Effect, that's exactly how it works. Lots of different characters, and the story then is significantly different when you replay.
You can tell by the eagle. Ah, an honor.
I'm too rich. Too much money. But this is
impenetrable.
Exotic, and I'm just hoping this is possibly 400.
That looks very solid, Guardian.
It does indeed. Oh, and I got 400 of that, 390. No use. Infusion, hands-on, bonus super, heavy lifting. Okay, we'll keep it on for the time being. And then here we have 385. Another 390, which is not particularly useful. Some perks there. His discipline. What I do want to see is my inventory. I want to see whether I picked up some motes, and if so I want to see how many. Let me see. I'm doing good. 82. I was down to 4 a couple of days ago, so that is paying off. And yeah, all the other things are still there.
Be safe.
So we'll go quickly and see what our friend Postmaster has to say. Skeleton key.
Acknowledged.
Husk of the pit. I don't really need that husk of the pit.
Have a nice day.
But what I do need is those keys. If Zach is watching, I want to ask Zach something. What is this Amanda's tag for? Do you know? How can I use Amanda's tag? I've had it ready for a while in my inventory and I'm not sure what it's used for, because it's not telling me anything and it's asked me to discard. But then what's the point of keeping it? Does Zach know? Amanda's tag, what does it do? Can it be used? Here's the question. As you could see, lots of people in here as well. What is he doing? Zach says, I doubt whether it still can be used. I don't think it can, because when you look at the inventory, it's not telling you anything, you know? You're just sitting there. So don't get so busy protecting us that you forget to have a little fun now and then. So I think I can just discard. That's all it is. SRL book in your book area. I don't know, to be honest with you. And Zach says, I've heard of people getting things from that stuff. Not really. I don't really know. Where would this be, the book? In year 3. The books I've got is Record Book, Competitive Spirit, Age of Triumph, and Rise of Iron. And Zach says, just put it in the vault. Okay. I was gonna dismantle it, but I probably can put it in the vault if I have enough space in there. Let me see, consumables. Here. And then this one as well I can put in stealth down. Alright, so that's okay. And Zach says, well, put it in the vault and then you find out how to use it and then take out and use it. Yeah, that's the best idea. I almost forgot that I could store my consumables. You know, I need to dismantle it. Thanks very much for reminding me that indeed it could be just in one place there. Skeleton keys. I got 3 skeleton keys now. You know, I'm furious because I really needed these skeleton keys and I've done like, what, 10 strikes so far? And I opened 1 chest because it's just 1 skeleton key and I've got 3.
It's too loud here. Too bright. I can't hear what's coming.
Well. So we'll go back to Cora, talk to her for a moment.
Anything of interest?
Well, we need to see what actually would be needed. Leg armor and gauntlets. And, well, we can probably go for Croimer. Let's see. Armor. Okay, we'll go for armor. Temporis Flow. Incandescent Mind. I think that's not what I wanted.
Good.
Okay, so let's see what this is. Spectre. Samsara helmet. In fact, we can put that Samsara helmet on and then infuse it with this ending hood. Which is what we're going to do. And then we'll bring back the old, which is 400 defense. Spirit Bloom I need. Oh. Okay. It's 399, 397. Yeah, this one is 400, but I've got 400 in there already. So what do I do? Few more to be done here. My Stormcaller, so that needs to be completed as well. Worth keeping in mind, the other two subclasses are indeed bang on, 10 out of 10. And for some reason, I'm now 398 rather than 399. So what's the reason for that? Oh yeah, no, that's the reason is this. Because I've been using my Dark Drinker. Alright, so that is then 399, 43.99, so it isn't 400, but we'll get there eventually.
What do they think of us?
I'm grateful for your assistance, Mom. Thank you for your kind gifts. I want to show some gratitude by winning some more battles. Fear God, honor the King.
Our light leads us.
Who else is there? Something. Oh no, Husk of the Pit.
We must still face the doorway into darkness. The Dreadnought.
Husk of the Pit. Okay. Done. 348, 350. At least I got some weapon parts for it. I thought it was going to be completely empty and barehanded, which is not what happened.
We have the greatest respect for your order, Warlock. Very fine.
And again, the boots that are not useful. 385. We want 400. Alright, my friends, we've come to the end of our broadcast for tonight. Thank you all for coming and for watching the broadcast. Thank you for being our valued community members. The day today was somewhat different than usual. Our evening broadcast was also a bit shorter than usual. But tomorrow we'll carry on as normal from roughly 10 o'clock in the morning and have the usual 5-6 hours of Destiny 1 on my channel. We are going to be carrying on with strikes, I think. Maybe we'll do the Nightfall as well. And the reason for that is I want to be still getting some extra bits of kit. And I want to raise the character to 400. And you know, it's been a lengthy grind, but thoroughly enjoyable. Matthias is still here with us. I didn't know whether you were still here, sir. Good to see you. I did say early on, I apologise for that problem with the sound. And was able to resolve it. I had a period during the broadcast where there was no audio, unfortunately. And I want to ask Matthias before I close the broadcast about the Division 2. Are you playing the Division 2? And if so, what's the experience? Because I know you said that you spent a lot of time doing some sections. They had some additional content, I think, last week. I did see some videos, and I'm just quite curious to hear whether it is as good as expected. Are you enjoying it? And are you perhaps building a team in there as well and doing the PvP? the demo, but I'm just hearing very, very positive things from everyone. I've had some other community members coming in and being very, very happy about the way Ubisoft really kind of packaged it and raised the bar for the game. So I'm very interested to hear from yourself what your experience of the game is. Once again, before we depart, I'll have a look at the list of quests and everything. We do have that corrupted land, a couple of patrols still to be done in there. Age of Triumph, just bits and pieces really. And that sword reforge is really completely unnecessary because I've completed all the exotic swords already. But I made this error at the end, which was on my Titan instead of just doing the last sword on my Warlock, which obviously would have been activity according to plan. I forgot about this and I picked up the second sword with my Titan, so somewhat different. Let's have a look at the balance. Standard Fire, reputation is up. Heavy Gatling, reputation is up. And then we have also Shining Light. Just my reputation, nothing else. Well, perhaps not sure whether Matthias would have heard me. Maybe he, disconnected when I was saying goodnight to everyone. No worries, we'll talk on another day, I believe. Hope you are enjoying the Division 2 indeed. Hope the game is as good as we expect it to be. I will be also playing it at some point, waiting for the price to drop because I want to be getting the Legendary Edition, so I can get also the annual pass and everything else together with it. That's the idea. And I can tell you that the price of Anthem has significantly dropped, and I've seen they're selling Fallout 76 for I think about £10 at the moment. So still waiting until it drops to 5, then I'll pick it up. Also look forward to it as well. So thank you all for watching, thank you for being with us tonight, thank you for participating, all of your comments and views, for being our obviously very, very greatly valued community. And we'll carry on tomorrow as usual from 10 o'clock in the morning, and we'll have another Destiny 1 broadcast. Until then, I wish you all a very, very good night.